Once again, on behalf of the entire congregation of Bryn Mawr Presbyterian Church and its pastor, Jamie Schultz, I want to thank you all for dedicating a part of your Sunday as we gather together as a neighborhood, as friends, and consider what this space is about. Like all things, it has its own history as a group of folks who were moved by the events of September of 2012 and moved in effect by the power of one individual and the relationships that he had built across our community, Keith Basinski. His neighbors went out and together with one of his children built a momentum and found that there was momentum around this notion of honoring those lives. And thanks to those efforts, which started probably soon, not that far after, correct, Catherine? It's now 3 years removed, and here we are with the garden. Because something like this takes time. It takes time to build coalitions and understanding of what the vision is behind something like this. And when a member of our congregation, Lisa Bauer, was approached by Catherine about the possibility of hosting this garden here, this church community had to go through its own deliberation and thoughtful consideration of what it would mean to host this garden here. As a real estate professional, it's all about location, 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 correct? And this is a beautiful location to be able to share it for something as unique as this. But as a church, we needed to make sure that the message that was shared by this garden was of hope for all and healing for all, that extended beyond the boundaries of Bryn Mawr into Harrison and other communities. And if there was ever a need for a garden of hope of healing, it's been the past couple weeks in our beloved state. Because there's been plenty of violence that's been manifesting itself. Whether it was up in Aiken, in St. Paul, North Minneapolis, or even in the South Metro. It hasn't stopped. And it isn't because there haven't been good people who haven't been moved to action. It's just that it seems so daunting. In preparation for our time today, I thought I'd look back in history and say, what has this been? What's been the impact of violence in our community? Because I think it's fair to say that we all love our little neighborhood of Bryn Mawr. We love this city of Minneapolis. We take pride in being Minnesotans every time you hear about the next thing that we're either number one or number two in. And this one pains us. Since 1968 through 2013, gun violence has claimed the lives of 1.3 million Americans. If I were to share with you that that number supersedes all of the Americans who've died in battle since the beginning of the Revolutionary War, how is this possible? It's been possible because it seems so daunting. It seems so overwhelming. And yet I can sit here and stand before you. I am the future. Because 46 years ago, 6 blocks from where we're standing, my family was a victim of that violence on the corner of Morgan and Glenwood Avenue in a little family grocery store, where my 33-year-old father was murdered, and he was one of those 1.2 million. If you were in our church service today, during the children's hour, the kids were calling out their age. There were a lot of kids that were 8 years old. I'm 54 now. When you're impacted by that kind of trauma, it doesn't go away. And it's only through hope and healing that you find a way to mature and become an active member of society. Because you could find yourself wallowing in hate, but that will destroy you. So hope is found in the love that surrounded myself, my brothers, and my mother. I have two younger brothers. It was the hope and healing of friends and family. It was of deciding that we were not going to be defined alone by what happened on that cold January night. And so my message is that 42 years from now, I hope that we can look forward and that somebody sitting at this bench will have been moved to action, find a way, a better way for people to solve their conflicts, and that truly create that loving community that says that we can have issues between us, but it isn't resolved through the introduction of a violence or a handgun. That's where hope and healing comes from. That's the message of this garden. That was the message that this little church community wanted to share with everybody. Because the loss of that day impacted so many. Went beyond just the individuals, the 6 individuals, plus the one who also lost his life, who was the perpetrator. The family and friends, whether those friends were at work or in the communities that were served. So hope and healing is what we have to drive us forward, to hopefully build a stronger and more loving community in which we can all look at these places and say, this might have been the catalyst for something in the future. Hope and healing, that is our message today. Now each of us to find our way to see how we can help change the game. Change the game.